Okay, we are going to use the notebooks and we are going to work on text evidence. I know we've done this twice, but here's the deal. After grading the text evidence assignment, and probably 90% of sixth grade did not pass that assignment. Like 10% did, which tells me that small number of people are getting it and the rest of us are struggling a little. I'm going to pull this down at least so I can get out of my nose. There you go, so you can understand me better. Okay, so I thought, well, before I can move on, because there's no point in moving on if you don't get it the way I need you to. So we're going to talk about text evidence again today. So you can go ahead and put text evidence at the top of your page, because that is what our focus is going to be. Your computer should be closed so that you can give me your full attention and not be worrying about anything on it. All right, so why do you think it is important that we understand text evidence? Can someone raise their hand and give me their thoughts on that? What's important about text evidence? Yes. You do have to use it on the FSA. That is right. That is one reason why it is very important. You don't only have to use it on the FSA, you're going to have to use it pretty much for the rest of school too. But why else do you think it would be so important for me to teach it to you a third time?
To get information.
It is. It's to get your information from what you're reading. Now let me ask you a question. If you had your cell phone laying beside you and somebody walked over, picked it up and walked away, would you be okay with that?
No.
No, because we've all learned stealing is bad, right? Well, here's the deal. If you don't use text evidence correctly, you're stealing. Because that's somebody's words. And that somebody went to school, researched, and did what they needed to do in order to write those articles so that other people can have information about stuff. Okay, they've gone to school, they've done it, those are their words. So it is no different if you use their words and don't give them credit as the same as someone taking your cell phone and not giving it back to you. And none of us would be okay with that. So we should not be okay with using somebody else's words without giving them credit. Does that make sense? So that is why it is important to know how to use information from the text and what it should look like when we do use it. All right, so with our text evidence, let's go ahead and put down our definition. It is the information from the articles. And we'll just go ahead and put articles more so than just text. Most of the time for you, it's going to just be articles, but it's important to make sure we understand that it is coming from the articles. It is that information that we are going to use when we do our writing. Okay, so it's information from the articles. Now, you as a sixth grader are going to learn how to start your text evidence when you write, and you're going to start it the same way every single time. Okay? Every single time until you get more comfortable and I know you understand how to use text evidence. Okay, we are going to start it the same way every time, and you're going to start it with according to the article, comma, and then this is where you would put the article title inside the quotation marks. So this is super important. This is what I need you to get. This is how you should do this every single time. Every time you're about to use evidence, you need to put according to the article, tell me the article, and then go ahead and put your evidence down. Every time. And what happened when we were doing that space travel article and you were to use the text evidence practice, most of you put no. It wasn't even asking you for your opinion, by the way. And then you threw down some random sentence that had nothing to do with anything, and there was definitely no text evidence showing up in there. That is how I knew that you either didn't watch both videos that you were given, or you went through them so fast you did not take any notes. Because if you would have, this is something that we've done several times now. But this is what I need you to get, because this is a make or break deal on FSA. Just like right now, I'm in college and I'm taking college courses, okay? It's called plagiarism. if I were to turn in an assignment and not give text evidence showing where some evidence from the text that I read and who it's by, then I would get a 0 because I would be stealing that person's information. So that is why they need to know that you can read something and you can use it to explain whatever the topic is. Because here's the deal, you might have your own opinion on that, but you're not the expert yet. You're in middle school. They want to know that you can prove it with expert information, not just your own personal information. And that's why it's important to know text evidence, okay? So I'm gonna throw up an article up here on the board, and I'm gonna share my screen as I'm recording this for those of you that are at home. And I'm gonna quickly read through an article that I found, and I'm going to show you, I typed out a little tiny paragraph of response, just like you would have done in your text evidence practice, so you can see what it should look like and what it should sound like. All right, so give me 1 second while I do all of the many things I need to do here. Let me share my screen. All right, let me mirror it up there on the board, although I gotta turn the Apple TV on. Is it on? Nope, hold on, let me turn the Apple TV on. Okay. At least it works, yes. I am thankful for my technology when it works. All right, and I'm gonna mirror my screen, and I'm gonna move me down here at the bottom. Okay, so the article is how to deal with stress eating for comfort in a time of anxiety. So let me ask this question. Do any of you stress eat? Like if you're stressed out, you eat. If you're bored, you eat. If you're tired, you eat. If there's food, you just eat because you know it's what you do. Okay, so some people, whenever they're stressed, they don't eat. When they're under a lot of stress, they do the opposite. I am not that way. Miss Woods eats when she's stressed. I emotional eat, I stress eat, I just eat, period. All right, so let me read this article to you because it's gonna be hard for you to see it per se that far away. All right, the coronavirus is making the future seem less certain. It is changing a lot of people's lives. You might be stuck inside right now and school might be canceled. The coronavirus is a new illness that started in China in 2019. The virus has now infected people around the world. This is a stressful situation. You might be looking for ways to feel better. Over a quarter of Americans try to find comfort in eating. Food can make us feel better when we are stressed. Experts say it is good to enjoy food. However, eating when you are emotional can have negative effects. Overeating foods that are not nutritious can lower your mood. It can also weaken your immune system, and your immune system is the body's defense. It fights off disease. Right now, it is important to protect your body, and it's important to stay positive. Eva Shellhub is a doctor. Her work focuses on stress in the body. Shellhub says that to feel better, we need to be careful about how we fuel our body. We need to fuel ourselves in ways that lower stress. Our bodies connect our stomach to our brain. Shellhub says eating processed or sugary food can make you feel tired. Maybe that's my problem. Some people may feel guilty for eating these foods. It can also make us feel anxious or depressed. Eating nutritious food can help control our mood. Deanna Minnick is an expert in nutrition. She says stress eating tends to be automatic. For example, we might eat a bag of chips without thinking. Hunger lasts longer. We can stop feeling hungry by eating nutritious food. I don't know about you all, but if I had the choice between picking up an apple and eating a bag of chips, the chips are gonna win out every single time. I don't know about you, especially if I have dip to dip them in, I'm just saying. When we eat, our brain releases two chemicals. They're called dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals make us feel good. Shellhub says the feeling does not last. Shellhub suggests that checking your stomach before getting a snack. So she's saying talk to your stomach. Funny stomach. Hey, are you hungry? Ask yourself, am I eating because I'm hungry? Or is it because I feel stressed or sad or tired or bored? I have heard that you're supposed to drink a glass of water before you get a snack and wait a little bit. And after you drink the water and wait, if you're still hungry, then you're eating because you're hungry. If you're not hungry, feeling after that, you're only eating because you're stressed, tired, or bored, and so you should walk away from the cabinet. That's what I've heard. I'm not very good at doing that. I'm just going to put that out there too. If it is because you're stressed or sad, then try something else. Try other ways to feel better. Focus breathing, exercise, do a hobby, go outside. Try to stick to your normal eating schedule. If you eat 2 or 3 meals a day, then do that. Online support groups offer extra support, and you can talk with people who have similar feelings and might be able to give you good advice. Feeling anxious makes many people overeat, but also the opposite can happen too. Some people might have trouble eating when they're stressed. Anxiety can put stress on the body. Minik says our digestive system needs to be relaxed to digest the food. Warm tea helps your body loosen up, and foods like protein shakes provide energy. Drinking lots of water help keep you hydrated. It is important to focus on the cause of the stress. That way you can return to regular eating habits and exercise to reduce it. Making good food choices starts at the grocery store. Try to buy fresh and colorful foods. If you can't, buy frozen foods, because frozen foods are more nutritious than canned foods. Canned foods store in liquid of sugar and salt, and too much sugar and salt are not healthy for you. Stress can cause swelling. Minik suggests using spices. They can reduce swelling. Vitamin C helps to strengthen your immune system. Moving your body is important. It is also important to get enough sleep. Eating well makes us feel better. When we feel well, we are happier and more curious. I think this is the time that we need more well-being and happiness, Minik said. All right, so here's my one article, and let's pretend that I'm writing an informative essay on stress eating. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here, let me pull down my screen, to my assignment. All right, now my assignment is to explain why eating habits matter. Okay, so to begin with, I am not going to say, in my opinion, or I agree, listen, here's what you have to understand. And this is something big because elementary school taught you to do opinion writing, because in 5th grade and 4th grade and 3rd grade, that's the easiest way for them to get you in that state of mind. Guys, nobody wants to know your opinion. They want to know what you can prove. You can choose a side, but they don't want to know how you feel about it. They want to know, what do the experts say? What can you prove about that? You can still have your opinion and your choice, but they don't want you to tell it to them. They want you to just give them the facts. Okay? So, why do eating habits matter? So here is my paragraph. I first answer the question. So you're going to write down on your notes. Step 1. Answer the question. And you need to do that with a complete sentence. We call it respecting the text. Okay? So I'm going to answer the question. The question was, why our eating habits matter? Okay? So my first sentence, eating habits matter because what we choose to eat affects how the body works. So I answered the question in my very first sentence that is on my screen. Okay? I answered it right here in this sentence. Then here's the important part. Once I answer the question, now I'm about to prove it with text evidence. Okay? So with my text evidence, and notice I made it big and I highlighted it because I needed you to see it. According to the article. And then I put the title of the article in parentheses. Can you tell her I'm recording right now? And I'll call her back. So according to the article, how to deal with stress. According to the article. According to the article. Hey, what are you going to say when you're putting down text evidence? Oh, according to the article, every time. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Mrs. Woods, I feel like I'm doing this over and over again. Good, because the more you do it, the stronger you will be, and then we'll figure out other ways that you can say it so that it's not sounding the same repetitious thing. But until we get this down pat, according to the article, and I shortened the title of the article, if you notice, I just said, according to the article, How to Deal with Stress, discusses that eating habits matter because when we eat unhealthy foods, our body does, there we go, not like all of the sugar and salt. Do you remember me reading that to you in there? So I'm using the evidence. Now, if you notice, I didn't copy paste. Let me say that one more time so y'all get it. I did not copy paste. I took the information from the article and I put it in my own words. That's called paraphrasing. That's what you should do every time. You do not copy paste. Put it in your own words. I'm still saying the same thing as they said. I just put it in a little bit more Miss Woods terms, okay? People will gain weight with empty calories and not be living their best lives. So here, for step 1, answer the question. Step 2, write this down. Text evidence. Step 2, text evidence. Step 1, answer the question. Step 2, use your text evidence. No. Step 3. Explain your evidence. So step 1, I answer my question, which is the topic or the question I need to answer. Step 2, I use my text evidence to do it according to the article, and I tell you what it says. And then step 3, I explain it. And I will tell you right now, these are 3 simple sentences that will show up in your body paragraphs every single time. It's a part of the writing formula that we are going to learn. Okay, so my step 1 was answering the question. So I'm just going to put step 1 here, and I'm going to highlight it so that you can see it. Okay, step 2 here so that you can see it according to my article. Let me highlight that. And then I tell you what the article says, and then step 3 happens right here, because then I give you a quick explanation of a little bit more information on what I may be talking about. This is how you answer a question. This is how you use text evidence. I pulled information from the text, and I also gave credit to the people where it came from. And that it's super important that you all do this. So I gave you one more text evidence practice in Schoology for this week. It is just one simple little article with one simple question, but I should see this showing up in your text evidence question. Do you have any questions about text evidence? Does that make sense a little bit more that you've seen it modeled and kind of put together and how it should sound? That is what I expect to see from you this week. Okay? All right, so I am going to pause my sharing my screen. I'm going to pause my video. And I'm going to go ahead and let you get started with your assignments for this week. There is a discussion question